2006, we saw Monster House, which was as they say on the wiki, a computer-generated, animated, supernatural comedy film. Centers around three kids, basically, trying to convince adults that there's a haunted house that actually is sentient and comes to life. However, they do not believe them at first. They don't believe them anyhow, maybe at first. Wait until you reach the middle of the movie. And, they try the best bet to actually destroy it. What better way than, trying to blow up at its force, which is the heart. And the heart basically being the fireplace. It does have a very interesting premise to it. Monster House is a very interesting movie. If there's one thing I actually don't like are the characters, and maybe except Nevercracker because he has a story, and he's played by a very well-known actor. But there's not much I could say. The house design is pretty nice. I mean, from anything between the skinny trees and the creepy atmosphere and even the house itself. They go inside the house, which is already scary enough as is. And the house even knows its surroundings. We find out later in the film, and this is technically a spoiler, so if you guys don't want to look at this video for spoiler purposes, you can go watch the movie now and actually take a look. But the spoilers is that Nevercracker's wife, who was originally once was like, you could say, a trainer in the circus, was locked away long ago when Nevercracker was young. So they ran away with each other and they built a house close to where the neighborhood once stood. Of course, she died by getting buried under cement after a couple of hooligans loved to throw eggs on Halloween. Mischief Night. Never gets old. So, what happened? Nevercracker basically had to just protect not only his wife, who did not, her spirit did not leave the house, but also has to protect the kids by just scaring them away and threatening them as well. He didn't have a choice. He wanted her to let go, but he would have no one. Of course, this doesn't bode well with his fiancée, otherwise known as Constance, in the film, and she goes on a rampage. And the idea of just her arms being like trees is just like the trees being arms is amazing. I just love the design of this house. Now you could say the other one was a little bit lazy in design, but what do you expect from a house that just got destroyed? And it was a fun movie. I always love the fun of the movie. My problem is that it drags way too long. Other than it building up to that part where the house literally starts to become sentient, the rest of this movie is just such a drag, and the comedy is not funny. I mean, there are times I laugh at such basic stuff, but there are times it's a nervous habit, and not a lot of us have nervous habits of laughing. This movie is not that much funny. The animation is completely awkward because of, its time period, and the fact that it's a computer-generated movie. And this is the type of computerized generated movie that is definitely not CG. It looks awful. It tries to be stop motion, but just doesn't have the qualities of what made stop motion so great. And it's trying to be real life in a way, but not putting with real life, characters. Like, the characters don't look real in my eyes. If I was to remake this would be the movie that I think should benefit with live action. And that's just my personal perspective. There are other people's personal perspectives. Some people think it should be hand-drawn. Maybe some people think it should be just stop motion. Or they should just leave it the way it is. Now, the original still has its heart. But it's like, there's nothing more I can say about this movie. Other than, it's fun with just the climax with the house. And there are times it's just like the characters are just not funny, the animation's awkward, but it's a Halloween one. I think it's up to the perspective of the people who have never watched this movie. So, if you actually are curious, you can go find it on a lot of sites. Like, literally a lot of social media sites. As a matter of fact, there's a low playlist version of it that actually is in parts. So you might go ahead and take a look at that. But Monster House, it's entertaining, it's fun, it just drags.